Hello everyone. We want to welcome you to our spiritual mukbang series, and for those of you that are unfamiliar with what this is essentially doing a mukbang but with um, the Word of God. And so we want to recognize that we don't just live on physical food or bread alone, but that we would be filled with the Word of God as it really fuels us to continue living our lives joyfully with thanksgiving and really pouring out God's love and being the salt and light to this world. So the way it'll go is each person will have a different interpretation of how their spiritual mukbang will be. And just this one will be one example, and we'll have many others coming up pretty soon, which I hope you all are looking forward to. So for myself, I wanted to dive into this particular passage from Deuteronomy 8:3, and it says, "And he humbled you and let you hunger and fed you with manna, which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, that he might make you known that man does not live by bread alone, but man lives by every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord." So the Israelites were worried about how they would survive in the desert, and were coming to a point where they would rather be slaves in Egypt than to be free because they were being fed. Now, God continued to provide through the Israelites' lack of faith. He continued to provide them manna, but when we depend on physical food alone, thinking that that's enough, we're really just depending on ourselves and putting our faith in ourselves. But if you're like me, we all know how that goes. We're too short-sighted, we don't know enough, and definitely are not strong enough to handle all the things by our own strength. So God wanted to teach the Israelites that it is not the manna that was important, but the one that was providing the manna. So without eating and being filled with the Word of God, we allow other things to fill us, like the words of man and the words of the enemy to fill us. There are a lot of words and advice and encouragement that sounds really good out there. However, it's important for us to discern what's true and what's life-giving and what is man-made advice solely birthed out of our hurt, pains, sorrows, and experiences. Words of man and this world are kind of like artificial foods or GMO foods. They may still taste good and even sometimes taste better than the Word of God, but they will not give us the nutrients and the energy that ultimately comes from the Word of God. The Word of God is really the only source and food that will nourish us from the inside out and give us proper nutrition and energy that can quench our hunger and thirst and fully satisfy us in this world. When you live by the Word of God, really enjoy it like you would a piece of A5 Japanese Wagyu steak, which I really want to try. Savor it, really taste every part of it, chew on it, draw out all the many flavors, and then swallow it down to let it replenish you. Okay? So as we start this series, I pray that we'll be a church and that we'll be a youth that will really feast on the Word of God. And for many other viewers outside of our church and our youth, may you too be filled with the Word of God. May it energize you, rejuvenate you, and bless you. Okay? Peace. May you not live on bread alone, but may you live off the Word of God. All right. Have a good one, everyone.